Welcome to FX Options University, recorded live at the International Securities Exchange, the world's largest equity options exchange. Join the industry's top trading professionals as they provide insight and strategies for trading in the currency markets using FX options. FX options are a low-risk alternative to hedging currency moves in any market condition.
Hi, everyone. This is Eleni Levine from the ISC. I'm taking over for Steve Meisinger as your host, so welcome and thank you for joining us this afternoon. We are very excited to have with us today Toni Hansen, one of the most respected technical analysts and traders in the industry, with a reputation for accuracy in both bull and bear markets. Toni is president and co-founder of the Basket Group and runs the popular tradingfrommainstreet.com sites, as well as her own blog on tonihansen.com/blog. She began her trading career as an equity swing trader and has since expanded into many other sectors of the market. Her style of trading and market analysis transcends both time as well as market vehicles, making it attractive to investors and traders of stock, futures, options, and ETFs, and even the Forex market. Toni is a frequent speaker at trade shows and trading expos and has spoken on behalf of both Townsend Analytics and the Chicago Board of Trade as an active trader of their mini Dow futures contract. Toni is also a popular columnist on the Hard Right Edge, repeat contributor to SFO, and has recently co-authored their newest book, Online Trading. And I'm going to turn it over to Toni.
Hello, everyone. Thank you guys for being here. I hope that you can all hear me okay. There is a Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. It should be in the lower right-hand corner. If you guys have any questions throughout the presentation, please go ahead and post them there. That way I can see them and get through them at the end of the session. I'm not going to take questions throughout the class because it can tend to get us a little bit off track, and oftentimes a lot of the questions that usually come up in the middle of the session get answered as I progress anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I do leave some time at the end of the class today, though, to get through a lot of your questions. And if you have any additional ones, please feel free to email me or contact me. There's a contact link on my page at www.tonihansen.com, and that goes directly to my email. So if you have any additional questions or whatnot, please go ahead and email me that way. Today's class I'm going to talk about is one that is a really popular request by a lot of traders, because a lot of classes that you will find and a lot of the books and such that are about technical analysis, they focus upon getting into positions. You know, they tell you about how to take different strategies and different setups, but aside from helping you with entries and stops, there's not a lot or not as much written about how to accurately time targets. So today's presentation is going to be about identifying trading targets for FX options. And I know a lot of you aren't trading FX options currently, but you can take any of the skills or the topics that I discuss here at ISC.com and apply them to other securities as well. Now, for those of you that are familiar or not familiar with FX options, these were originally done in a U.S. pair. Basically, they were U.S.-based, meaning that for Australian dollar, you would have the USD /AUD, whose symbol is AUX. For the British pound, your base currency is, again, the US dollar /GBP for the British pound, and that symbol is BPX, and so on and so forth. Recently, they started adding some of the pairs where it is not the base currency, but rather the foreign currency that is the base currency. So you have like the Australian dollar where it's AUD /USD, and that symbol is AUM. And you can get all of these as far as like the latest on the FX options and quotes at fxoptions.com. So I suggest you go ahead and check out that website. Again, that's www.fxoptions.com for more information on what exactly the FX options are and how to trade them, as well as the latest quotes and data. The charts that you're going to see throughout this presentation are of those option pairs. Well, currency pairs as the option, rather. Here's just a list of the current FX options that are available. So you can see that there's quite a few that are offered right now. Looking at setting target levels in different securities, the first thing that you need to think of is that you need to have not only a feel for the underlying direction of a security to be able to accurately project a price level, but also be able to accurately assess the length of time it will take for prices to hit that objective when you are dealing with trading options. So you might have a good idea of where the market is going, for instance, where a particular currency pair is going. But you might not know really how long it's going to take to get there. You might know that it's going to be heading higher, but in order to take the correct option, you really need to know how long it's going to take as well. So part of the session today is really going to focus upon things like that, how to judge timing as well as direction to hit specific target levels. Before you place any position, and specifically before you go ahead and get into a level of where you are planning on taking profits on a position, you really need to have a firm idea of what the building blocks of price development are. And these are instrumental not only in establishing those entry and stop levels, or strop levels as it says on the screen. Sorry about that missed typo, but target levels as well. Now when you're looking at the building blocks of price development, what I mean by this is that the building blocks of price development are a little bit of a different way of looking at the market than you will see in a lot of textbooks that focus on technical analysis. Instead of focusing on things, for instance, such as a head and shoulders pattern, I'm looking at what is going into the creation of the head and shoulders pattern itself, meaning that I'm looking at the building blocks of those patterns as opposed to the overall pattern itself. So you're looking at basically the different things that go into it. So, let's say you're just looking at a human being. You can identify a human being across the street or whatever. But there's a lot of things that are different and make different individuals basically make people look different from one person to the next. I mean, hair color, eye color, things like that. And these will affect the lifestyle of that person, their personalities, even how they speak, how their vocal cords are developed, etc. But basically, you can tell that it's still a person. But when we're looking at how they're going to perform, say, an athlete versus a couch potato, you're going to notice some very key differences. And we're looking at what those differences are in these individual patterns. So instead of just looking at a head and shoulders pattern, we're looking at things like, muscle or whatnot, the variation that would be the equivalent in a price pattern. Now, I actually have 5 building blocks that I use, but we're only going to talk about 4 in this particular class. And these are going to be support and resistance levels, pace or momentum, trend development or trend placement, and correction periods. These all look like very simple topics. So you can tell that, they're things that have been covered in many different places on the web and in other courses and such. But it's not just the fact that something's at support and resistance levels, or it's not specifically where something takes place in an overall trend that matters. It's how these things come together that will create that overall picture. So it'll give you an idea of where target levels are going to be based upon how these building blocks basically are put together.
Thank you for participating in this week's session. Please join us again next week. Get trading ideas, exchange rates, webinars, news, and commentary. Visit www.fxoptions.com. ISE FX options can be easily traded through all options-enabled brokerage accounts. These exchange-listed securities are cash-settled in U.S. dollars and have a European-style exercise.